Handwriting has been a passionate thing for me. I have been using handwriting since long time. I recruit my employee, whoever I take, as a dentist or as a receptionist or all the people. I always take their handwriting and check them.
Graphology honestly has been instrumental in changing our life. It has completely transformed our life. I can say on my behalf, what I was in my childhood and what I am today is completely different.
As a graphotherapist, whatever I am working right now, I have seen fantastic results in people. I have seen people coming out of problems like migraine, financial problems, getting off from the bank loans, having a fantastic relationship, and the most of all, stress is gone out of their life.
This is an amazing tool to help school children shape their lives purely by changing their handwriting at an early age.
I would like to thank Mr. Bart Baggett.
I've come across Bart as in through his books and everything.
Bart with his humour, uncanny humour, some might say dry humour, which appeals to an Englishman, has made it very entertaining.
You can find Mr. Bart Baggett from Handwriting University International.
Love you, Bart Baggett!
Hi everyone, hope you are doing great and enjoying your time at the Handwriting International Conference. I am talking to you from all the way from the Middle East, from the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, and I am Lina Husham. I would like to thank you, Mr. Bart Baggett, for giving me this opportunity to be part of this event. Even though I couldn't come to USA, it wasn't possible for me at this time. So thank you very much. You've been always giving. My knowledge of handwriting analysis started back when I used to live in Baghdad, Iraq. I'm originally from Iraq. Back in 2003 to 2004. At that time, the war was just started on Iraq and the country was in a total chaos. And where everything was vague and nothing is safe, nothing is sure in my life, I was focused on one goal, and that is if I want to help my country in any way, or the world for that matter, it is through one way and one way only, and that is by empowering myself through gaining more education, gaining more knowledge, and I found in handwriting analysis that possibility. I've been using handwriting analysis each day of my life for the past decade. For example, once I used to work as an administrative assistant in the mosque. Once I used to work as administrative assistant in a communication company, and it wasn't my ambitious, it wasn't something that I can evolve myself in it. So I decided that I want to work some graphotherapy on myself. So I changed my signature. I started to write more visible. My name was clear, and I added a very big circle in the initial of my name, and that is to give me the urge to have responsibilities at work. And I underlined my name in a very long and going up to the right line, and that is more self-reliance. And magically in 2 months or become a co-founder in a media company and a magazine. So, and later on when I met my husband, The first thing I asked him to do was show me your handwriting, which was funny. No one asks to show your handwriting in the first date. So I told him, show me your handwriting. And he wrote a few lines, and I wrote a few lines too. And when I looked at that paper, literally I couldn't tell which one was his, which one was mine. So it was then when I knew that we are perfect for each other. And thank God we've been happily married for 7 years, and we have an amazing 5-year-old girl. So yeah, handwriting is something that in each day of my life I use it. And it is something very valuable, and something that really can save your life and change it. The world is really evolving in so many different ways. Each day a new gadget comes to the market, some new robots, some new phones, but I don't believe that the world needs any more of this. What the world really needs is some new courses in humanitarian sciences, and handwriting analysis is one big science that everyone should know. And unfortunately, until now, not so many people knows about this science. But with your effort and with these conferences that the Handwriting University does each year, and with the courses and your each individual effort, we will change this fact and will let as many people know about this science as possible. Because with it, our world will become a better place in terms of understanding yourself and understanding others. Thank you very much, and thank you very much. God. Thank you very much, Mr. Bart Baggett, and hope to see you next year. Bye.
A great experience. For no guy like me, it was humbling. I learned a lot today. I want to thank you, Christine, the old professor himself. I'm honored to be here today.
About someone just by looking at their signature? Apparently quite a bit, because our next guest says he can see a person's strengths and weaknesses simply by looking at their writing.
My goodness, it's terrifying. He's here to reveal intimate secrets hidden away in celebrity signatures. Please welcome handwriting analyst Jamie Mason Collins.
Great to be here. I find this absolutely fascinating, but I'm curious to know how you even got started, because I imagine a lot of people don't go through life thinking, oh, you know what I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a handwriting analyst. So how did you get into it?
Well, my mother is a handwriting analyst.
Oh, well, there you go.
And as a kid, I stuttered. I could not get through a sentence without stuttering over my words. But my mother saw a trait called fluidity of thought, which is a trait of writers and speakers. It looks like a figure 8. And here was my mother, my hero, telling me that she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. Years later, I worked for Saturday Night Live. I worked for Lorne Michaels in New York. And I used it as the ultimate icebreaker, because here I was as the new kid on the block, and I was speaking with senior executives, and I would analyze their signatures. And then after that, this passion or this hobby became so much more, because I ended up doing couples compatibility. I can see...
Oh.
Yes, exactly, yes.
I got a reaction.
Yes, yes. If the guy you're dating is really a good fit, I can see his hidden motivations and whether he can keep secrets, what kind of a person he really is. Wow. And it came full circle, because what my mother saw in me 3 decades later came true, because I ended up doing a TED Talk, writing a book, and I'm on The Social.
Wow. And we're so glad that you are, Jamie. We're so happy to have you here. So when you're looking at this kind of thing, what are you looking at nuance-wise? Is it just a matter of the way people dot their I's or cross their T's, or is it angles? What are you looking at? What are you analyzing?
Well, all the above. I mean, did you know that there's 18 different ways that you can cross a T?
Wow. I did not know that.
Well, there is. And, like, I can look at your handwriting, and instantly size up your personality patterns and how they're stacked together to make you unique. I mean, you're looking at the angle. Is it straight up? Is it straight down? You're looking at the curves to the angles. Is it big? Is it small? All those things kind of come together to make you a unique person, and you can see it through your writing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, you said earlier that one of the things you could tell is like the motivations of men, and I found that petrifying. But on top of that, I mean, what else? How much can you tell about a person? Like, what exactly can you discern about them through their signature?
Well, your signature is what you want the world to see, and your writing is who you truly are.
Right.
But there's 90 different traits that you can see. I mean, you can see how someone will respond emotionally in a situation. You can see if someone's honest or trustworthy. You can see their thinking styles, their patterns, how confident they are in a certain situation. The way it works is like this, Teddy. Writing starts in your brain. It sends a message down through your hands, and your hand writes certain imprints on the page, a stroke. And that finger carries out the directive of your brain. So really, writing paints a picture of what you think.
Okay, well, let's get to the celebrity analysis, because as a gossip columnist, my job is really to try and understand celebrity motivation. So we're going to take a look at some of the biggest celebrities, starting with Beyonce. Now, this is Beyonce's signature. You just said that a signature is how you want to present yourself to the world.
Yes.
So how does Beyonce, in her signature, present herself to the world?
Okay, so Lainey, look how big the B is.
Yes.
You see that? So the B, that large B, 2.5 times the rest of the letters, that represents a confident, bold woman who draws clear, strong boundaries and walks with confidence.
That's definitely Beyonce.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Okay, so if you notice, there's a cup-like shape. It's a feminine, receptive, someone really together with their feelings. And you can see that through that cup-like shape at the bottom of the letters, how they combine, right? And so the other thing about that is it's a garland shape. It's curved. When someone's curved, they're warm, they're nurturing, they're mother-like. The other thing you can see is she's really creative. The line is strong, it's thick, and look at the way the B is shaped throughout. That line is elegant and it's stylish. That's someone who's really in touch with her creativity. And I bet you, Lainey, she also is a painter when she's not performing music.
Oh, interesting.
You got all that from that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move on to one of Canada's leading men. He's also a contender for this year's Oscar Best Actor. He is Ryan Gosling. Different type of signature. What do you take from his?
It's like looking in a mirror.
So one thing that really stands out, what do you notice about the eye? It's really precise. He is a director's dream. And what you see is that even though he writes quickly...
I don't see any eye there. I don't see anything. I just see a dot and a squiggle.
Right, so that dot is attention to detail. He's definitive in his role because he pays a close attention to every aspect of his performance. Curiosity rules his world because, I'll tell you why. Do you see that inverted wedge at the top of that first letter? That represents somebody who is quick thinking, fast on their feet, is an avid reader and learner. And here's what else. He is passionate. And that passion comes through in that it leans to the right. His writing leans to the right, and he has drive because that signature is self-assured and it jets forward as he writes. Those are a few things about Ryan Gosling, yeah.
Interesting.
I love Gosling, but that's a terrible signature. that's not a signature.
And you know what? One more thing about him. He's a private person. He keeps his personal life and his public life separate. Like Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk. They like to keep these worlds separate. And that's where if you write illegibly and you can't read the writing, you have a private side that you want to keep private.
Interesting, okay.
All right, moving on to a very different type of celebrity. He's captured the world's attention right now.
Yeah.
President Donald Trump.
Okay.
And I'm sure we all have... Yeah. I'm sure we all kind of have our own ideas about what's going on in his brain underneath that fantastic head of hair.
Yeah.
But what does his signature tell us about the president?
Okay, so what do you notice? It looks like a series of jagged chainsaws. That represents somebody who is driving forward like a freight train, who is really inflexible, and that inverted tent shape, that's stubbornness, but that's someone who stays firm to their belief despite what the facts tell him. But I'll tell you...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah? He's a fast thinker because of that analytical V and that inverted investigative thinker, Donald Trump.
Very nice.
Okay, so Jamie, I'm fascinated by left-handed people because it seems like there's a disproportionate number of celebs, powerful people that are left-handed. Among them, Ms. Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, sorry.
Cynthia
Sorry.
as well. Cynthia Weiss is left-handed. But Oprah Winfrey, this is her signature. What
Wow.
do you see in it?
What you see is what you get. What do you notice about her letters? You can see every single letter. That's someone who has integrity. The woman that we've grown to love in performing in front of millions of people, she's the same person if you had a one-on-one dinner conversation with her. The other thing is that large circular O, that is someone who, if you look at the O, she's open to ideas and new people, new conversation. And that is combined with, if you look at the fluidity of thought in the writing, that's someone who really moves well with letters. It's that figure 8 that you see in the F, and you also see it on the Y. And look at the Y. That means, see how it goes back in the past?
Yeah.
She is investigating because of her R's and N's. They have little sharp hooks on them. That represents someone like an investigative reporter who's looking back in their past, and they're looking at their past, not in a negative way, but they're finding how they can turn every crisis into an opportunity.
Oh, wow.
That's a piece of art.
That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much. Hey, will you come back and maybe analyze our handwriting? You'll do that? Okay, we'll see you again soon then. Jamie, we're back right after this break.
Bart Baggett has been a mentor and a friend over the past 5 years, and his impact has been enormous on my professional life. I was a teacher, and I was happy to be a teacher, but I decided that I wanted to grow my influence beyond just the confines of a classroom. I wanted to continue to teach, but I wanted to really reach more people. Instead of reaching 25 people a day, I wanted to reach thousands. And Bart Baggett, through his mentorship, his support, through his courses, and through his coaching, I have helped elevate my thought leadership, my subject area expertise to new heights within a record short amount of time. Within only a year and a half of leaving teaching, I ended up attracting the #1 speaking agency in Canada. I have a growing business. It's grown substantially over a year as a keynote speaker and workshop creator. And I can look at the advice, the feedback, and really the vision that Bart had in me even before I fully believed in myself that I could do this, as being not just the initiating step, but the continued support that his coaching and his consulting through marketing strategies, through scaling my personal leadership, that has helped take me to a new level. So if you're looking for a business coach to help you scale your own personal development goals, Bart Baggett, far and away, is the best choice.
It's a tremendous benefit. And so when we're in that space, people get so much from hearing other people's questions or just being able to see what someone else is going through, or to then be prompted to then ask a question that they wouldn't have necessarily thought of. So when we were speaking to people about, those opportunities, it's tremendous. It's very synergistic. It's borders on the mastermind concept, and that's why we love it much, is that there is nothing better than being in a space with like-minded people and sharing and synergizing, and that is exactly what has been created in this space. And so, the groups that I deal with in other spaces are exactly the same as this pod space. Everyone has the opportunity really to work together. I mean, we encourage one another. We encourage opportunities to share with each other. It doesn't have to be my answer. It can be, what someone else in the pod has to offer, or, you know, if a question gets asked, everyone has the opportunity to benefit from, you know, hearing that. And it's a beautiful space to work in. And that's why masterminds are such a great space. And that's why this pod space is so beautiful. And is incredibly meaningful to each of the members.
Well, thank you.
It's been really wonderful to interact with the other pod members. And I think that when we worked together, it really helped us figure out how to do the assessments and things like that. And that was really, really good to have the pod cohesiveness there. I really enjoy it. And Crystal is wonderful, as well as the rest of the team.
Y'all are wonderful.
Each stroke has a certain trait. And the reason this is so great is when you're beginning, you're always right. I can't tell you, I never thought any of this would really happen when I was 14, 15. But because I changed the way I write, because I changed the belief systems in my head, my life has unfolded in a really magical way. If you're an engineer and you've been to engineering school, there's a pattern in your handwriting where most engineers, 80%, have a certain type of handwriting. If I had a loop in my D, I may have stopped. I may have said, oh my God, they're not gonna like me. I better do something else. I better play football or basketball or soccer, which I wasn't particularly good at, okay? So I think it's great to have a lack of fear. Now, we'll talk about some of the 11 big fears in the lecture. We'll definitely get to that. 11 big fears in your life which will halt your happiness. Would you like to know those? I think that's really great. Even if we don't have time to go to all the handwriting traits, the idea alone can transform your life. Here's what it looks like in primary traits. These are what they call the Graphology flashcards. I mean, a little product I made 21 years ago. Flashcard handwriting makes it super easy to memorize. Graphology therapy is a specific therapeutic process designed to reprogram personality. So this is Graphology therapy, not just graphology, but Graphology therapy, to reprogram the personality through specific, small, repetitive, micro movements of the fingers, which infect the synaptic pathways inside the brain. Neuroconditioning through handwriting changes. So neuroconditioning. What's the word neuro mean? Brain. Neuroconditioning. What's conditioning? Over time, you get conditioned. This is a very powerful technique, and most of you are conditioned, and you don't even know it. You're conditioned by certain things. So if I can give you some advice, if I can give you some tip tonight, some piece of idea, tip, advice, that changes your life just 1%, you could end up in a completely different place 5 years from now. Enthusiasm, shown by where? Long T-bar. Long anything, really. If it's a long ink stroke, it's energy. It takes a lot of energy to keep that go from A to B. Think about a distance runner, a marathon. It's a long distance, okay? So the long T-bar, but also long strokes everywhere. Even downstrokes, hypothetically, is, big physical drive and enthusiasm. So long strokes everywhere.